Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. In the name of the one whose names are so beautiful, so suitable to begin. Every syllable is for him. Al-Khalaq al-Insan, creator of mankind and jinn. Every noun, verb, and synonym I dedicate to him. He who taught mankind the names of all things, and so to begin, all praises to him. To be or not to be, your being is still for him, for he is one with no father or son, and the only one worthy of your prostration. He who controls the moon and the sun, every atom, including Adam, may peace be upon. Indeed, the best speech is derived from the Quran and the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed shaitan, because I came from a prophet who was the best of creation. So let me begin with the greetings the angels gave to him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm sorry. And I know sorry is not enough, but I'm sorry, it's all I have. And I'm sorry I can't apologize on behalf of anyone but the man that I am. I'm sorry for my failures, my inadequacies, which unfortunately I do not always see because I have this bad habit of speaking before my tongue asks my brain to proceed, so please forgive me. I will make mistakes until the day I cease to breathe, and you will find many more if you make it your mission to seek, so please do not hold them against me. Instead, make excuses for me. And if you see something wrong in me, then please advise me privately. I am nowhere near perfect. In fact, I am perfectly incomplete, inconsistent with my purpose, carrying my own worth of bad deeds. I used to be in love with conflicts, ready for anyone to step to me. Had an attitude of ingratitude, a straight rude boy recipe. You could catch me on the corner, posted up, being deceived. I wanted to be a bad boy until I saw bad men deceased. Rest in peace. To my ego, every time I put my head to the floor in complete humiliation, I seek salvation from the most forgiving Lord. I'm sorry to my mother, who I sometimes wouldn't kiss. Days and weeks would pass by, and I wouldn't even remember this gift of life. She sacrificed stretch marks and teeth bites, gray hairs over the years to see that things ain't black and white, but such is life. My father went to war twice. Once back home, the other time to get me out the street life. Stand and salute thug life, soldiers in a never-ending fight, costing casualties of colored boys like toys, chasing this worldly life. Now I'm sorry to see mothers in the masjid begging the imam to intercede. Her baby has become a monster, treating her like a slave. Please, brother, talk to my son. But sister, I don't know what to say to a man who doesn't respect his own mother. These are signs of the final day. What a shame. I'm sorry to say that most of our youth really have no reasons to complain, because while they're dying for the latest style, some people are dying for another day. But we could have been they, and they could have been in our place. Allah is testing everyone from the scales we can't escape. So why is it that we are too scared to give for His sake? It's like we don't believe in the promise of Allah, even though He gives and He takes. We collect interest for dunya homes like we have no interest in Jannah's gates. We can debate until we are blue in the face, but just look at this ummah state. I'm sorry. To my sisters in Burma, we were unable to come to your aid. They told us that you were tied up and gang raped, but we were too busy watching commercial breaks. Reality TV has got nothing on the reality that they see. Palestinian children throwing full-grown rocks in 3D. I'm sorry that we are weak, unable to even speak. And I'm truly sorry about what happened on 9/11, but it had absolutely nothing to do with me. That Islam you see on TV does not represent me. I'm too busy waging jihad against myself. My own nafs are my enemy. I'm sorry that Muslims and Muslim lands do not represent Islam. This religion is perfect, but we, on the other hand, I'm sorry for pointing fingers. I forgot the rest were pointing back at me. And I'm sorry that I look for faults in you the same way I told you not to look for in me. I'm sorry to anybody who has ever looked for inspiration through me. I'm a sinner and a fraud. Only Allah knows about my deeds. If sins had an odor, I doubt any of you would come next to me. On the contrary, you would flee. So please forgive me, my bad. I know some of you might not agree with how I move. Maybe this poetry thing ain't for you. And if it's not, hey, that's cool. Just do not speak ill of me whilst I'm not in the room, because I don't mind taking your good deeds. If they don't mean that much to you, I promise you it's the truth. So please forgive me in advance. Ya Allah, I know I have wronged myself, but please give me another chance. And to anyone whom I've abused, grant them ease to all their sorrow, because if we can't even forgive each other today, how can we expect to be forgiven tomorrow? You know, sometimes I wonder about Joseph and his brothers. The amount of pain they put him through, all the years he had to suffer. But look at this man, Yusuf alayhi salam. What did he say when their places had changed? No blame on you this day. Subhanallah. Could any of us ever do the same? Forgiving is not forgetting, it's just letting go of the pain. We hold grudges like guns, somehow always quick to aim and blame everybody else. But what difference does it make? Because nothing will change until we decide to change the condition of ourselves, regardless of who's to blame. So forgive me if I'm late, but let me just be the first to say, I'm sorry. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us all for our mistakes. Amen.
He's going to do something. He's going to come out.
Jazakumullah khairan. How's everybody feeling tonight? I feel like I walked into a janazah, subhanAllah. You guys look dead, mashallah. Hayakallah. I'm very honored to be here with Rahma Mercy and really trying to help get a little bit of the word out. Because unfortunately, I don't know if is there any Albanian people here with us today? MashaAllah, none of you. Alhamdulillah. It's quite interesting because, this cause has been, done to help revive a community which was once a Muslim land, a very thriving Muslim community. And unfortunately today it has become virtually extinct of Islam. And like the Sheikh was mentioning, this is a country within Europe, subhanAllah. This is not like, some third world neck of the woods where maybe I'm from or maybe you're from. This is a place which has access to Western resources, subhanAllah. But ironically enough, the Muslim amongst them are the ones who are in most distraught, the ones who are in most need, subhanAllah. mention this because many of us, we have a tendency that when there is a cause or an issue which is occurring, which is affecting our own communities, we are the first ones at the door. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. But when there are people who are being affected, who are being hurt and harmed, and they don't speak our language, they don't have our skin color, the only thing they have in common with us is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. At that time, many of us, we become hesitant. Right? They don't look like me. They don't speak my language. They're not from my tribe. Subhanallah. We are the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Before anything, before the language you speak, before the food your mother cooks, before any other geographical feature, you are a Muslim. Alhamdulillah. And this binding force of ours should be the only thing we take into consideration when we look at people who are in need of that sort. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, this ummah is like one body. This ummah is like one body. So that if a part of your body feels a pain, the rest of your body suffers as well. I give this example of anyone who has ever had a toothache. Yeah, a tooth. You guys have teeth here, right? Yeah? Someone who has a toothache. I mean, this tiny thing in the back of their mouth. This little piece of stone, subhanAllah. They can't eat. They can't sleep. They can't drink. They can't rest. They can't do nothing. For this little piece of stone, subhanAllah. How many of you feel that exact same pain when we see images of what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Syria? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them victory. Say Ameen. When you see the brothers and sisters in Burma being evicted and kicked out of their lands, when you see what's happening in Palestine, when you see what's happening all over these Muslim worlds, it's unfortunate that many of us, we have become desensitized. We watch Muslims being blown up and it's like we're watching a video game. You know, it's unfortunate, but Muslim blood has become cheaper than oil. Muslim blood is cheaper than oil. To kill Muslims means nothing. How many people died in Syria in the last week? SubhanAllah. We hear numbers 50, 100, 200. What? They're just numbers. When you hear that people have been slowly, systematically removed out of the fold of Islam, they are not allowed to fast in the month of Ramadan. Subhanallah. Wallahi, we are an ummah today, we are weak. I was telling a brother, my trip into the UK, I got harassed at the border. A Muslim sister, subhanallah, ajib wallah, she's working at the border. As I'm about to clear customs, she comes and she says, brother, can I look into your bag? I say, ya ukhti, what are you looking for? You're looking for trouble. She goes in my bag and she's looking through, and I had some CDs and she's asking, what's on these CDs? I said, this is about the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. She said, oh, are you sure? Is it any jihadi stuff? I said, la ilaha illallah. And I was complaining to this brother, I was explaining to him that this is the situation of the Muslims today. You know, Islam is hard. Until I remembered what the situation was like before us. When the Prophet ﷺ described that people would be brought forth and a saw would be put on a man's head and he would be sawed in half. What was his crime? To believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Wallahi, we look at what's happening to the Muslims today, and so much of it we can help have a change in. But it will only begin, it will only start when we put away these silly titles. I'll tell you honestly, you know, walking into this masjid, they told me everybody here's from Gujarat, right? Gujarat is a Gujarati masjid. That's what I heard. Yeah? Is that true? Yeah? MashaAllah. I said to myself, I don't care. These are my brothers. Is that true? Some of you are not sure. Who is our father? Who do we all come from? Adam alayhi salam. What was Adam alayhi salam made from? From clay, from dirt, Daddy. So you're from dirt too. Don't feel too good about yourself. I told myself, these are my brothers, no problem. I don't look like them, I don't speak their language, but I have in common with them, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Do you guys agree with this? Am I your brother, yes or no? MashaAllah. What if I told you, I said, Akhi, I heard the Gujarati women, MashaAllah, I heard they cook very nice food. I want a Gujarati wife, who's going to give me their sister? Oh, this brother? I don't know. The brotherhood ends there, MashaAllah. Wallah, it's a funny joke, but this is the way our ummah acts. You don't really see me as your brother. For some of you, I'm just a stranger. I'm someone from a different tribe, a different class, a different city, a different country, a different father or mother than yourself. But at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, his companions, they were one ummah. Bilal ibn Rabah, radiallahu anhu. You know, my background is I'm from Habash. My family comes from Habash. So we are the ancestors of Bilal ibn Rabah. So we take great pride in this man who was once a slave. He was a slave. And the Prophet ﷺ, he elevated him in the society. And now you have people, they look at you and they say, you black man, you are African. They say it as an insult. Which one of us alive is even worth the earlobe of Bilal ibn Rabah, radiallahu anhu? La ilaha illallah. This ummah, we are diseased, subhanAllah. Anyways, I wanted to just share this final poem thought with you, inshallah. This is a piece that I wrote just as a unifying thought and idea that we are one ummah. This piece is called Pumpkin Seeds. You will not be asked about your culture in your grave. And you will not be judged based on your father's last name. When the trumpet blares, there will be no more kings, only slaves. And your family traditions will not be able to keep you safe. Your language will bring you no comfort on that day. And no one will care about the kind of food your mother used to make. The angel of death does not discriminate. No matter your ethnic group, clan, or race, we were created from the exact same clay. Many nations have come before. Many nations have been replaced, disgraced, and erased. So which one of you feels safe, and which one of you remembers what life was like back in the day when we used to be brothers? And we used to stand up for one another. In the face of trouble, we used to love one another. And understand that your struggle is my struggle. We used to be one. A nation brought together in praise under the morning sun. For those who would dare, we would defend our rights to life and liberty. We used to care. Before then, about the orphans and anyone else in despair. We used to believe in justice. We used to be fair. Unity was not a word, it was a state of mind. Before states, nations, and flags, we were mankind. From the same seed we were created, into the same dirt we shall return. Now we are diseased with innovations in the fire left to burn. We seek to please heads of nations, compromising what we've learned. Indeed, this is a time of humiliation for those who are concerned. The state of our affairs is unbearingly absurd, taking enemies as friends after the wrath they have incurred. Empty threats and broken promises, vision is becoming blurred. Want to raise your hands up to the sky, but most of you are unsure that the end is coming near and only one can judge us. How can you be sincere when you forgot your purpose? This is the final frontier. Did you not think we would be tested, ridiculed, abused, confused, and arrested? made to feel strange in a place that's infested, but blame is a game that they win uncontested. We like to huff and puff about all of our books being protected. But what's the point of reading books when you don't understand the message? Divided and conquered, but we used to be connected, and you didn't have to like us, but you still had to respect us. Every corner of the globe, but we still facing one direction, standing row by row. If not today, then on the day of resurrection, when there will be no protection without the permission of the one true God. Allahu Akbar. Because we used to be brothers. But today, I'm only really your brother until I ask to make your sister my bride. Because nowadays, it ain't, girl, what's your size? It's, girl, what's your tribe? But what good are your eyes when taqwa is colorblind? And alhamdulillah, praises to the Lord of both you and I, who created us from difference that we may learn to love what's inside. Honored us with this religion, the last of its kind, and a messenger with a message for all mankind. But I wonder what he would say, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to know that his ummah has gone astray, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He taught us how to behave, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He even taught us how to pray, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was the best who ever came, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So where is his example today, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? He emphasized solidarity, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It seems like we have forgotten his ways, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because we used to be brothers. But how many of you would leave your own brothers on the front lines to die? There are children in Syria being buried alive. It's scary to think. We change the channel before we change our minds. There is no hope for a nation that is not unified. Do you really see me as your brother, or am I just some guy? Do you protect me, or do you put me on trial? Because some of you are so stingy, you won't even donate a smile. SubhanAllah. Where is the love? The state of our ummah is that we forgot where we came from. But when your soul begins to quiver in the shade of your rattling chest, you will see that this world was nothing but an illusion you are in. Ya Bani Adam, don't be fooled by wicked men, because there was only one God, but enough people who don't remember him. I am your reflection. Our connection is stronger than that of any election. We seek protection in our Lord. May he grant us direction. May he make us amongst those who love each other for his sake. May he make us amongst those who are content with our fate. May he make us amongst those who have the honor of seeing his face. We ask Allah for his mercy. We ask Allah for his grace. We ask Allah to unite this ummah and to keep us safe. We thank Allah for the countless blessings that we receive every single day. And may we give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.